What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Juggernaut097 bringing you guys another video today. And today I'm going to be doing my TNA Impact review for July 22nd, 2015. And this show I don't think it was very good. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot that happened on the show. There was just a whole bunch of promos. That's pretty much all it was. There was like only 3 matches on the show. So this was not a very good show this week. I didn't really like it. Kind of boring, nothing really too much. Actually, there were 4 matches, but it showed a replay of a pay-per-view match, which I don't understand why. But nonetheless, let's get started with this review, okay? So here we go. So first off, it kicks off, things kick off with showing a video package for Jeff Jarrett going into the TNA Hall of Fame. So he's going to be going, he's not going to be going to the Hall of Fame next week, but he's going to be there, next week for his Hall of Fame induction, he's going to be getting inducted. He's the next Hall of Famer for TNA. So, I expected this, I heard some spoilers about him going to the Hall of Fame. So it's nothing really big news. So, So that's pretty much all to say there. It was a good video package about, showed his history in the company, how he founded the company. And so pretty much that's all what happened there. And the first match tonight we get was a street fight. It was Bram versus Magnus. So it shows them brawling outside the ring, right at the beginning, out of the gate. Magnus throws Bram into the ring post. Magnus hits a clothesline in the ring. Magnus hit another clothesline, and then Bram rolls out of the ring. This got started really quick. Magnus had Bram in the corner and was laying the kicks on Bram. Magnus superplex Bram off the top rope. Bram tried to get away from Magnus, but that did not work very well. Magnus hit a nice big boot. Bram throws Magnus out of the ring and tries Magnus to, where was I? Oh yeah, Bram throws Magnus out of the ring and tries going. Then Bram tried to go for a baseball slide, but Magnus pulls the apron, and Bram got caught in the apron. Caught between the apron. So Magnus took control of that. Bram brought out a trash can lid, and he hit Magnus over the head with the trash can lid. Then Bram brought out a trash can, and then he brought out a steel chair and a cookie sheet and a candlestick. Bram hit Magnus with the cookie sheet. Bram laid Magnus on his steel steps, and then got the trash can and hit Magnus over the back. Bram tried dropping an elbow, but Magnus moves. Magnus hit a drop kick off the second rope. Magnus put the trash can over the head of Bram. Over the head of Bram, and then Magnus picked up the chair and hit Bram with it while the trash can was over his head. And then Magnus did the same thing once again to him again. Then Magnus went to the top rope and dropped an elbow, then went for the cover for 2. Magnus did a side effect type of move. And before that, Bram, he took out the referee, so Magnus went for the cover, but when he hit the side effect type of move, but the ref was down, so nothing happened there. Which I don't know why they really had to do a rough ref bump during this, because there wasn't I don't know really why they had to take out the ref, because this was a street fight, so you could do whatever you want. So he took out the ref, and then Bram low blows Magnus, and then rolled Magnus up for the 1, 2, 3. So the winner of the match was Bram. And like I said, this was a street fight, so the ref could have still been standing, and this could have been all right. But no, TNA, I guess they had to do something like that. But yeah. And then after post match, we had James Storm come down with a cowbell, and Storm hit Magnus with the cowbell. Then Storm grabs the mic and says, "Did you think I forgot about you?" Then he says, if you think that was bad, it's about to get a whole lot worse. Then he says, "Tonight you will know who my partner is. and and you and Mickey James might want to stick around and watch this. And then he kicks Magnus in the head, and that was it. So it was a decent match, nothing really too special. So yeah, and then we had the next segment, which was Eli Drake came out to the ring with his crutch, the same crutch that he attacked Drew Galloway with. Eli got on the mic and says, Eli Drake has waited a long time to stand right here by himself and say, let me talk to you. And then he goes on to say, day after day, I heard that, by people, why did you cost Drew Galloway the title shot? Then he says, stop crying, dummies, because like him costing the title shot. Then he says, I made it perfectly clear that I was furious. Then he says, Eli Drake is not a creature of circumstance, but he is a creator of circumstances. He created a circumstance that is advantageous to him. Then he says, yeah, Drew, you got me in the door, but I wanted to show my appreciation, but you cannot stop talking about telling everyone this hashtag stand up. Then he says, as far as I'm concerned, you can sit down. So I thought that was pretty funny when he was talking about that. Tells him to sit down. And then he says, meanwhile, Micah is standing right here like a puppet. Like he wasn't actually standing there with him, but he's standing like he's pretty much doing what Drew Galloway is doing. So he's standing like a puppet, pretty much doing whatever Drew does. Pretty much following what Drew does, like I said. He says, and now I have to come out here and tell you my name is Eli Drake, because who would ever know, because Drew wanted to talk for me. And then he says, I used the Rising for every little bit I could. Then he says, he goes like, we are all alike. We are all like Eli Drake. And then because each and every one of us called in to work sick when we were perfectly healthy to go into work. And then he says, you all got good friends that you use to because you can get things. And then Drew Galloway makes his way out to the ring, and he said he brought Eli Drake into the Rising because he knows he has a killer instinct. And then he goes like, little did I know that I would be more right that I could possibly imagine. And he goes like, you decide to kill the Rising so you can be a shining star. So he says he could be a shining star. Then he says, not a lot of people know that I'm not an old guy. People think I'm older than I am, and I just turned 30 last month. And I don't really know why he was talking about his age, but you'll see why. It was like and the reason they think I'm older because I've been wrestling for 15 years. And he says, he has been around the world more times than he could count. He's been bruised. He's had surgeries. He has a torn shoulder right now, but nothing hurts. But nothing hurts me. Nothing hurts him the way what Eli did last week. He goes like, my brother is, he turned his back on me. Then Drew has been, through the stages, he's been depressed. He's drank a bit too much. He wanted to beat Eli Drake's ass, but he decided to ask the fans what he should do. And then he says, I'm going to kick your ass. Because the fan says, kick his ass, kick his ass. And he goes like, well, guess I'm going to kick your ass. Then he says, you want to be a big star? so bad I will make you famous. And then Drew gets in the ring, and Eli tries to swing in a crutch but misses, and Drew takes him down and starts punching at him and punching at him. And then Eli took control when he went low and started throwing elbows. Eli grabs the crutch and tries hitting Drew with it, but Drew, he tried going for a future shock, but Eli got out of the ring, and yeah, so that was that segment. I kind of like what they're doing with this, so yeah, I actually didn't mind this. Like I said, there's a lot of segments on this show, not too much matches, so yeah. Then we had another segment, which was a confrontation inside a 6 sides of steel cage. Taryn Terrell she wants pretty much her title back. And Christy was on the stage, getting ready to talk about the new season of Pit Wars, Barbecue Pit Wars, or something like that. I don't know, but Taryn Terrell comes out and she throws like the girl off the stage. And she says, "No, that is not what's important right now." Then she says, "What is important right now is me." Then she says, "This show is not going to continue until I get back what's mine." Then she says, "Christy, I blame you." And then she says, "I blame everybody here." And she tells the dolls to get in the ring. Then she says, "I'm going to lock myself in this cage until I have what is mine." Gail, I destroyed, and she tells Gail that she's destroyed her, and physically and mentally. And then she tells Brooke, "You're not the champion," and says, "I want my title. I need my title." Then tells Bully Ray, "I need an official because it is my title, and I want my title now." And she was just throwing a temper tantrum. I kind of like this. Her throwing her temper tantrum. Sorry, temper tantrum. And then Brooke comes out and says, "What a surprise. Taryn Terrell throwing a temper tantrum like a little baby." Then she says, "Boring's seen it," and says, "You're not important. The fans are important." Then she says, you want to blame everybody here. You want to blame anybody and everybody. But at the end of the day, it's all on you. It's all yourself. And your little doll hose. I thought that was funny when Brooke called him doll hose. And then Brooke says, "I'm happy. The fans cannot be any more happy because I'm the new Knockouts champion." Then she says, "You can't stand it, and you can't stand it when these fans chant my name." And they start chanting, "Brooke, Brooke, Brooke." And then Taryn Terrell tells the fans to shut up. And then Brooke says, "This is not the doll." And then Brooke tells, "This is not the dollhouse. It's my house." And then Taryn Terrell, she goes on to say, "Brooke, you're not the champion. That's my title." Taryn Terrell says, "I'm untouchable." She was like, "No man, not one man is worthy of touching me." So I'm like, is she a porn star? I don't know, because she says not one man in this building is worth touching me. And she goes like, "Not a knockout can touch me in this ring." And then Brooke says, "You're so," and then Brooke was like, "You're so scary." Then says, "It's obvious. The only person you're mad at is yourself." And then Brooke tells her she's out wrestled her, outsmarted her, she's beaten her. And then Brooke tells Taryn, "If you want my title, she was like, "If you want my title, baby, come on, come and get it." And then Taryn Terrell gets out of the ring and then heads to the stage to go after Brooke. Then the lights go out, and then it's Gail Kim. She's in the cage. She's in the steel cage with the dollhouse. Marty and Jade, Marty Bell and Jade. And she beats up on Marty Bell and Jade, and Taryn Terrell, she tries to get back in the cage, but she can't. And Taryn Terrell she runs away from Brooke outside the ring, and she runs to the top of the stage and runs away from Brooke, and the baby faces come out on top. You know, the girls come out on top. You know, not Jade, Gail Kim and Brooke. So yeah, that was that segment. And then next, it shows a replay of the King of the Mountain match at Slammiversary, which I don't understand why they're doing this, because like they're showing a pay-per-view match. This kind of reminds me of what they did at the Royal Rumble, with how they replayed the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. But now they're replaying, like now TNA is doing this. They're replaying the pay-per-view, which I don't understand why. But don't get me wrong, this was a good match, but it was a. I don't really know why they would have the show on here, because but the people that were in this match was Jeff Jarrett versus Bobby Roode versus Eric Young versus Drew Galloway versus Matt Hardy, and like I said, I don't really understand why they are showing this match, because they should care about the right here and right now, like not the past. They should be caring about the past. They should be caring about that right here and right now. So yeah, but I'm not going to talk about this match, because if you guys want to go watch my review if you guys want to hear my review about this match, then go watch my Slammiversary review. So yeah, and this was really another pointless segment. Tigre talks about Donald Trump. What Donald Trump's been saying about Mexico. Tigre believes that Mexico is a great country. He lived his whole life here in Tijuana. Mexicans are just passionate about our people. Then he says, we are so proud of our history, who we are. And he says, we are hardworking people, and we are so proud of our culture, and we love our lifestyle most. All Mexicans who come to America are good people. They are good workers. Then he says, the people who came to the U.S., they are hard workers. They come to do good things, come to make a life for themselves and their families. He tells Donald Trump to come to the Impact Zone next week. Then he says, I'm going to show you what a real Mexican is, and who the real Mexican can't come here to work are. Not all Mexicans are bad. Then he says, I'm Tigre, and I invite you to come to Impact Wrestling. So yeah, really pointless segment. I didn't know that this was political. We're getting into political stuff here. I didn't know why, but showed Tijuana and stuff. How wrestling's really big in Tijuana, but nothing really too special. I don't understand why they're talking about Donald Trump here. I really don't understand this. This was really completely pointless. Just really pointless here, but that's true. Not all Mexicans are bad, because there's some bad ones, there's some good ones, but I'm not going to be talking about this much anymore, because I am not a racist, even though you guys think I might be, but I'm not. But yeah, really pointless though. So I'm going to move on now. But who knows if Donald Trump's going to come? I doubt it. I didn't see him coming to the Impact Zone. It'd be weird if he does though, but who knows, they could have him there. And then next, we have the Revolution coming out to the ring, and James Storm says, there are lots of people walking around this world, and he can look out in the crowd and find a couple of people himself that are lost. And then he says, look at our country. You need people that need discipline, that need guided, that need leadership. Storm says that he doesn't care what color or what race, because they live by the motto, there is always room for one more. Then Storm says, and Mickie James, I gave you an opportunity to pledge to the Revolution, and you turned me down. Then he says, I gave you a gift that you can only imagine, because he knows she's longed for a better life, not the miserable one that you have with Magnus. Then Storm says that Mickie James, I know is not just lost, but she's a lost cause. And Storm tells Mickey that she is going to get her one more match. Then he says, "It's going to be Magnus. It's going to be you, Magnus, versus me, and the newest pledge to the revolution." And then he tells everyone to put their index finger up and welcome the newest member. Welcome the newest. Welcome the one more, which is Serena. Then Storm says, I want you to tell them the truth about the I want to tell the truth about Mickey James." Which Serena, she was in OVW with Mickey James, so they know each other actually very good. So yeah, they were actually friends in OVW. So Serena gets on the mic. Then she says, "Mickey's a best friend. I've been best friends with her for 10 years." And then she says, "We weren't just true friends. We were best friends. We were sisters. She used to call me her protege." Then she says, "You know how much that meant to me." And then she says, Mickey James became Mickey James. Then our friendship did not even matter to her and anymore. Then she tells her, "You left me behind." Then she says, "You broke my heart." Then she says, "I was lost for a very long time until she saw James Storm." And then Storm grabs the mic and says, "You see, Mickey James, unlike your piece of crap fiance Magnus, what you what what you do stand behind him. Here, a real man wants his woman to stand right beside him, right beside them." And he says, "And your impact on our lives is going to be the fuel that helps us not just beat you, but embarrass you." Then he tells Donovan, when he gets old enough to watch this, he will be the he will point to say the yours yourselves. This was the moment your parents made their worst mistake. So yeah, so it's gonna be James Storm and Serena versus Magnus and Mickey James. So that's gonna be Mickey James' last match in TNA. So yeah, so how was that? Like I said, a whole bunch of segments, and then next we had a chain match, which I'm not going to really tell you the rules about a chain match because we saw a chain match before. It's pretty much where they hook up someone's arm to a chain, and they hook up the other person's arm to a chain. Pretty much trying to copy WWE, but yeah. But here we go. EY attacked. It was Eric Young versus Rockstar Spud. Sorry if I didn't tell you guys who was facing each other, but EY attacked Spud right out of the gate and then started choking Spud with the chain. Eric Young puts Spud in the corner and just throws him across the ring. Spud was trying to fight back, but again, EY used the chain to his advantage and wrapped the chain around Rockstar Spud's mouth. Eric Young had Spud laid on the steel steps, and Eric Young tries Spud. Oh, Eric Young tries to hit Spud with the chain, but Spud moves out of the way and then puts the chain through the ring post. He goes to their side of the ring post and then pulls Eric Young, and then Eric Young hits his head on the ring post. And then they were doing a tug of war with the chain, when Spud was in the ring and Eric Young was on the outside. And then Eric Young pulls Spud, and then Spud goes face first into the mat. Eric Young wrapped the chain around Spud's neck and drug Spud around. He was just choking him with the chain. Eric Young clotheslined Spud with the chain and then went for the cover for 2. Eric slapped him on the back with the chain and then went for the cover, but that was also for 2. And then Spud, he did 2 back-to-back clotheslines with the chain, and then he just went off. Where am I? And then he just goes to town with the chain on EY, and then Spud goes to the top rope, but Eric Young gets the ref involved and pushes him into Spud, but Spud did not get hit by the ref. Eric Young then takes advantage and then throws Spud off the top rope, and then Eric Young hits a pile driver for the win. So the winner of the winner's chain match was Eric Young. So yeah, all right match. I mean, like I said, a lot of this stuff wasn't really special tonight. You know, I didn't really care for this Impact. But then we had the main event. It was a tables match for a number of contenders for the TNA World Title. Bobby Roode versus Matt Hardy. And Bobby Roode, he was the number 2 on the top 5 ranking, and Matt Hardy was the number 1 on the top 5 ranking. So, yeah, so we're going to see who the number 1 contender is, and Bully Ray made this match. So Roode goes right after Hardy and just spears Hardy like a lot of times in the corner, and then they were throwing punches back and forth. Hardy hit a back elbow, then hit a leg drop. Hardy hit the side effect, and Hardy brought a table and laid it by the ring, and Matt Hardy was trying to get back into the ring, and Bobby Roode about pushed Matt Hardy off the apron, but you know, Matt Hardy gets back into the ring. Roode hit a clothesline. Hardy was ramming Roode head off the table. Hardy tried suplexing Roode through a table on the outside, but Roode countered that into his own suplex onto the steel steps. Ouch, that looked like that hurt. Like, no joke, that really looked like that hurt. And then Roode threw the table on top of Hardy, and then, like, while he was still on steel steps, and then Roode was stepping on top of Hardy while the table was still on him. Roode stepped the table in the corner, then Roode ran after Hardy in the corner, but Roode ran into an elbow, then a boot in the corner, then Hardy went for like a running bulldog, but Roode reverses that. I forgot about some. And then Hardy went to the top rope before that and hit his second rope. Hit his second rope elbow drop. Roode hit a nice spine buster. Hardy hit the twist of fate. Hardy tried putting Roode through the table by moonsault, but Roode tried putting Hardy through a table by hitting the Roode bomb, but Matt Hardy countered that and sent Roode flying to the outside through a table. So the winning match and new number 1 contender for EC3's TNA World Heavyweight Championship is Matt Hardy. So yeah, a decent match. You know, probably the best 2 matches I was chain match and number 1 contender table match. So yeah, this was my Impact review. Like I said, nothing really too special. So I don't recommend going back and watching this show this week. Hopefully there's more wrestling next week, less promos. But yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if this is your first time ever checking out one of my videos for more daily wrestling videos. And also don't forget to follow me on Twitter at the TrueJSB. Again, it's at the TrueJSB. And don't forget to follow the podcast at ICW_podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to DJ Bill on YouTube. His link will be down below. I'm part of their podcast, the ICWP podcast. It's called the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. So I'm part of that. Co-host on there with his name is DJ and Casey. So yeah, but definitely ramble on. And this is John. I'm pretty much saying peace out. I'll catch you guys in the next video. So, peace out.